There's been an uproar in the Magaverse as they are now internally sparring over immigration, deportation, and American culture, with Elon and Vivek shocking Maga, who essentially voted Trump on the promise of delivering bigotry. Well, now these two are trying to get in that way as the unelected billionaire bureaucrats coming out surprisingly pro-immigration for Maga's taste at least. So let's watch a CNN panel discuss what's happening here and talk about what it means.
Elon Musk is right about the nature of the problem, that there is a problem with high-tech skills in the United States. His solution is to immigrate more of these people, and that has got him on the outs with a lot of people on the right in Trump's coalition who say Trump, he ran on this idea of cracking down on immigration and also building up American workers, not foreign workers.
Right, and I think that this issue, like so many that I expect we're going to see in the next few years, really illustrates the gap between these two blocks in the Trump coalition. I would put tech bros and Wall Streeters in one corner and the MAGA folks in the other corner.
Elon probably understands this as a massive corporation owner who relies on and benefits from this exact kind of immigrant labor. But for MAGA, even that's a step too far. Like, whoa, 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 not even high-skilled immigrants can come in here. Like, they think we should be hiring unqualified Americans, less qualified Americans, before we hire more qualified immigrants. But also remember, merit is the most important thing when it comes to hiring, and DEI is definitely bad. But to be clear, this idea that it's only high-skilled labor that we need from immigrants is where Elon's still wrong. Like, what is this idea that we don't need more low-skilled labor, that wouldn't benefit us? Like, we don't need more construction workers or like police. I'm just kidding. Cops, you are kind of low-skilled. But the truth is, if you can put an immigrant to work, whether it's a high-skilled or a low-skilled immigrant, they will benefit your workforce. That's whether it's tech or construction, high or low skill. And data shows that they will do this without typically taking jobs either. But this battle in MAGA is between, essentially, as she pointed out, big tech Wall Street billionaires who actually run the party, and the MAGA voters who were duped into thinking it was a party for them, where, again, MAGA is actually a party of the elite. It's a party of big tech, but they market as the party of the people. So these voters feel like they actually have a say here when they don't.
There are a lot of labor shortages that are actually the biggest problem to growth, productivity, and really the future of the country. And that is going to require more immigration. It's always been America's benefit, value add, particularly compared to Europe or a lot of other places in the country. It's why we have had historically higher growth.
Yeah, I'm curious, Congressman. Why, I can never figure out, why is it that when on the right, some of these anti-immigrant folks talk about this, they're not also talking about what it actually is going to take to bring American workers to these jobs, whether it's raising their skill levels, et cetera, because I guess they don't want the government to be involved in that, but don't you think it has to be at this scale?
Look, this, I think, is one of the biggest issues that we have to tackle in this Congress.
There are labor shocks and shortages in multiple industries, with the only Band-Aid on this being immigration providing massive helps to it. We saw this literally in Springfield, for instance, right? Where after the pandemic, their economy was halted as they were in population decline and facing labor shocks as a lot of people weren't wanting to return to work, those who weren't leaving. And the Haitian migrants that came on TPS, or temporary protected status, they caused the economy quickly to 180. And you have to think, because I agree, we should be preparing Americans to be better skilled, to fill these jobs and these labor shortages, right? But first off, the easiest solution to that would be free education, to open the floodgates of qualifications to everyone and give more opportunity to meet the needs of the skills of these jobs and fill these shortages with American workers, especially if we're talking high-skilled jobs. But Republicans are vehemently against this. They want to price out who can be high-skilled, which obviously is going to cut into the amount of workers we have to fill these shortages. Instead, they want these industries to plateau or even decline for years while we hope that we can ready American workers to fill them. Where does this make sense, rather than just allowing immigrants to fill the shortages and seeing the growth in the interim? It's kind of crazy.
I think there's a way to solve this and talk about this that doesn't denigrate all of American culture. I'm now understanding more and more how he got 100 votes in Iowa, or whatever it was he got during the Iowa caucus. The reality is, and Elon, by the way, clarified or further explained his position later and was talking about saying, I want to bring in the top 0.1% of engineering talent from around the world. It's like bringing in a Jokic or a Wembyana to help your whole team if you want to make a comparison to the NBA. So I think we can bring in the absolute top talent from around the world, and at the same time, not insult the rest of the United States of America and our culture and the way we do things here, and also lift up the American students who have the talent and who have the interest and put them in the right educational opportunities.
I mean, it is kind of hilarious that the undertones of the MAGA base is so racist that even when an objectively true statement is made by a Republican or Trump appointment, in this case, Elon and Vivek, just because it's somewhat pro-immigrant or not anti-immigrant, you should say, MAGA is upset. Like, they had to walk back a factual statement because MAGA is so racist that they don't even want super high-skilled tech immigrants to come and fill the tech shortages we have, that we literally do not have the labor to put in those roles, not with the skills necessary, at least, because we put these skills necessary behind insane paywalls that just become increasingly harder to meet when the cost of living is going up, the cost of education is going up, but your wages are not. Like, Elon and Vivek's position here were objectively correct. It's wrong because they're pretending it's isolated to just high-skilled immigrants, but it is objectively correct if we're talking about high-skilled immigrants. But they can't even say that because their base just wants them to be anti-immigrant, and mass deportation and anything else is just a step too far. It's hilarious. And it's also cute that MAGA thinks their perspective is what shapes Trump or the party and not the opinions of the people donating millions and billions to Trump, Miriam Adelson, Elon, big tech, the elites, the exact thing that MAGA thought Trump would fight and now he's beholden to and taking millions of dollars from and literally following every ask of them. Like, in all seriousness, I have $10,000 ready to cash out any MAGA, any Trump supporter who can name one thing since Trump's been elected, that Miriam Adelson has proposed that he's win against, that Elon has said that he's win against, that Vivek has said that he's win against. Like, I would love to know what these billionaires are telling him to do that he's not doing because he's so for the people and anti-elite.